All right. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. There are little updates, and they always change my settings when they do it. What's up, everybody? This is Kurt H. I am the Lazy Farmer, and yes, I know it's been a minute. It's been like almost 2 weeks or so since I've last streamed. But I'm back. I'm here. I'm still, yeah, it's been busy at work. A lot of work. In fact, this might be the only day I'll get to stream this week. I know that in the next 3 days we got lots of things going on there at the place of work. So just as I get rocking and rolling, yeah, life gets in the way. But the good news is that I got to get through this week and the first 2 days next week, and then I'm off on holiday break, Christmas break. I'm not going to call it holiday. It is Christmas. It is the reason for the season. It is about Christ. And yep, it is. And if you don't believe that, that's fine. If you do believe that, that's fine. I don't care. But anyway, yeah, I'm off for like 2.5 weeks paid vacation. That's awesome. Okay, so anyway, so it'll be a lot of streams, lots of content, and that's starting about the middle of next week. So I'll be doing, I'm here Run 8, of course. I'll be doing some Lord of the Rings. We've got, in fact, my daughter and I were just playing. She just got off. She has a lot of things to do, and then of course whatever else might come to mind. It's also the holidays too. So yeah, no, I don't have the new railroader yet, but that is on my wish list. I'm also looking at Trains 2022. I'm looking at that one. I keep going back and forth whether I want to do that one or not. And then there's some other one my daughter has asked me to come play with, and maybe Baldur's Gate, start doing that one. A lot of different games. I'm taking a look at a lot of different things out there, but my main one is still going to be Run 8 and Lord of the Rings Online. So anyway, here we go. Let's go ahead, and what you're going to see here. I'm on my main screen here. I'm also in the map system here for Northern California. I'm actually sharing my entire screen today, and not just Run 8, because I want you guys to kind of see some of the utilities and things that I'm using, because what I'm trying to do with this particular video is, yes, my railroad is now called, thanks to a subscriber, my railroad is now called MVMRR. That is my virtual model railroad. That's the name of my railroad. No matter where I use UP engines, Southern Pacific engines, Norfolk Southern, BNSF, CSX, Bob's Railroad, I don't care. It is my virtual model railroad. And I'm back on the NorCal because it is the easiest one to configure, and that's what I want to do. Is I want to show you some of the things that I'm doing to configure this particular railroad. This will go out to any of the DLCs in Run 8. So the first thing that I really want to kind of show everybody, let me minimize this stuff. Here we are in Run 8, but I want to kind of show, well, I'm not going to show it. I'm going to talk about it, and that's JMRI. So JMRI was mentioned to me by one of the subscribers, and I took a hard look at it, and that's a lot of what I've been doing. I get home from work, I'm tired, I play maybe a little bit of Run 8, play a little bit of Lord of the Rings Online, but I dove in and took a hard look at JMRI, and then asked the question is it something that can be used for Run 8? And in a nutshell, I'm going to tell you no. Okay, and and I'm going to show you reasons why, and I'll explain it as we go through. Now, does that mean that JMRI is a terrible program? No, it's not. It's really not. It's just not needed for Run 8. Where I see JMRI might be a help in the new Railroader simulator that's come out. Trains 22, it might be a help there. Railroad Online, which I've been goofing around with that one too. That might be a whole new stream. Do a little bit of Railroads Online. In fact, there's an update that's supposed to be going today. I didn't do it yet for that one. But in essence, there's a lot. JMR is just not needed because in Run 8, a lot of things that JMRI would help us do in Run 8 is already in Run 8, and I'll explain that as we go forward. Now, JMRI stands for Java Model Railroad Interface, and it is a very, 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 very powerful program if you actually have a model railroad, a physical model railroad that you're going to go out and you're going to, lay track on. You're going to do scenery. You're going to run trains. You're going to be able to actually touch things. JMRI, that's what it's written for. And you definitely need to make sure that you have the latest version, like Java 11 or later, and it works very well. I mean, it's very powerful. I see its use. I really do. With other train simulators, where JMRI really helps out would be in if hey, I bought a car, like in Railroads Online. If you really want to do it, keep track of what you're doing. I'm buying a car. I'm buying a flat car, and I'm numbering it number 301. You can put that into JMRI. Put all your locomotives in JMRI. Put all the cars that you purchase in JMRI. You can even, all the spurs that you create in the industries, you put all that in JMRI, and JMRI will help you by creating switch lists and help you with your car movement, things to do, if you want to get that detailed into those in that way. Those things are already in Run 8. Okay, so to that end, depending on which model railroad simulator or what railroad simulator that you want to use, JMRI might be a help for you. So, but I'm going to talk about what I'm doing with Northern California in Run 8, the utilities that they have, and some of the things that I've been doing with with other utilities. So first thing I want to do is I want to bring up spreadsheet and bring this up too as well. All right. Come on, spreadsheet. There it comes. All right, and I just realized I need a file. Hang on. Where is... Oh, I know where I put it. I have a little tiny external drive that I actually take with me to work in my downtime. Break time, break time, lunchtime. I pull the laptop out and I work on this particular file when people aren't wanting to talk to me. So, all right, I want boom, boom, and here we go. All right, let's open this up. So I save the files as XLS, but I use LibreOffice, and I've talked about that in some of my other streams. LibreOffice is free. Okay, it has a decent look to it. It's based off of OpenOffice, which is also free. But if you have Excel, then use it. Anything else. So what I was able to do with LibreOffice is I actually created. Let me get rid of something here. Nope, I don't want that. I want this. There we go. So I can filter out anything and everything, and of course we've got industry name, incoming tags, local symbols, car types, what the turnaround time is, capacity, produce, what they produce, whether they're empties or loads, and then of course the outgoing tags. And these all come from the Depot configuration file, which you can download from the Depot Plus website. Run it. Install it as they tell you. They give you written instructions and a video on how to do it, and this is what you get. So okay, that's fine, and that's all well and good. There's some things that we have to do to kind of fix the file, but this file actually comes from inside of Run 8, and it is a file that you can access using LibreOffice, OpenOffice, Excel, however you want to access it. Google Sheets. I forgot about Google Sheets. So whatever you feel like you want to access. So, and what I was doing is I go in and filter out. Well, when you get the file, let me step back a second here. As an example, right here, the LB Construction and Lumber Company, right here. The first line will be populated. The second one down will not, and so it gives you the company tag and the local number and the type of car. And there's two different types of cars that this company on in Run 8 in the NorCal map will accept: box cars and center beam flap cars. So in order to get it to populate, when you go to filter, I had to add the second LB Construction, just copy and paste. Same thing with Leach Logistics. Copy the first one, paste the next two, and you go through and you want to make sure that everything here is populated. You want the same thing over here. You want to make sure everything is populated. So the first one was LEL. That's the company name, but the next two were not. So I had to make them populated, and that's just so we can filter out what we're looking for. Now, why am I doing that? Well, I'll give you an example. I like to have my cars, I'll use the center beam flat cars for this example. I don't want cars just to come on the map from pretend outside areas, although I do want that, but not just that area. So an example would be if I have an industry that has a need for an empty center beam flat car, I don't want it to come from West Colton or North Platte or Eugene, Oregon, which for the NorCal map, those are off map, which means the train's got to come in. I want to have some cars move around inside the map as well. So we have two companies that produce loads. So Sierra Pacific Industries, which is on the LRV 64. Sierra Pacific Industries, RV, that's a local out of Roseville. They produce loaded cars. So which means that they get logs and they cut them into lumber or make sheets of wood, plywood, whatever it is. Use your imagination. And it's the same thing with the Tahoe Truckee Lumber. Now Tahoe Truckee, that company is no longer there in Truckee, by the way. In fact, the yard that was in Truckee is no longer there, and I've talked about that. I find it kind of depressing because as you go through Truckee, and I went through Truckee back in last July when I decided to take a train trip to go see my daughter. We went over the mountains and through Truckee, and I was kind of looking out for this yard to see what was there. As I went through, the yard is no longer there, and instead there's a bunch of shops. So some developer this is me on my soapbox, guys, tore it all out for whatever reason. The Truckee got rid of it. Maybe it was a yard that wasn't using, it was abandoned by Union Pacific. So they tore it all out and they built shops. They yuppified it. Okay, they tourist trapped it. So, and when I went through and looked at the shops, they really don't even fit with the history that's up there in and around the Tahoe Truckee area. It's a very rich history. And of course, Donner Lake, Donner Pass, the Donner Party is all right there. But it's still a very rich history. So it's kind of like, wow, I feel like I'm more down in the San Francisco Bay Area than I do up in the mountains. It just didn't have that feel. And I kind of depressed that. So that's me on my soapbox. I don't mind anybody who try to do whatever they need to do to make a buck and, get wealthy. Wealthy. Being wealthy is not a bad thing. It's what you do with it or what you destroy that determines whether it's a bad thing. And to me, it's like if you create something and then don't bring the local history of that area into what it is you're trying to create, I think you're just messing things up. But I'm going to get off my soapbox now. Let's get back on topic here. So what I want to do is any one of these industries here, okay, they're going to call for an empty, because it produces loads, which means that they want empty cars. All right, so the empty cars are going to come from anywhere, Eugene, Oregon, Fresno, West Colton, North Platte. OA is Oakland. OG is Ogden, Utah. RO, believe it or not, is I forgot where it's at. It's another town that's in Utah. But I have YSP 52 here. So basically, what that's going to do is that when the car loads up after being on being on that track for 3 hours. When the card loads up, okay, it's going to pick one of these tags. One of those tags could be the YSP52PRT. PRT is right here. It's pronghorn transload YSP52. So it'll tag that car automatically for another industry. So that car is going to go from one industry to another industry on this map. The point being is I want that car to kind of move around. Can it get tagged with the tagging stream that I have here? Yes, it can. It can get tagged to go off map, and that's okay. But it can also get tagged to go to another industry as well. That's a random pick by the program. So I want cars to move around, and that's the reason I do this. So, and it's one of those things like, hey, if I don't feel like being on the computer, I don't feel like running trains, but I want to do something on Run 8 in my virtual model railroad. Once again, air quotes, this would become under the heading of scenery. Okay, so instead of, you know, going down into my basement and working on my model railroad, making trees, buildings, whatever, you know, mountains, hills, grass, no, that's scenery on a real model railroad. On a virtual model railroad for Run 8, this would be considered scenery, or what I consider to be scenery. So, what's up, Bob? How you doing? So, I don't know. Were you on the other day when I showed that? I got the picture. I do. Let me see if I can. Let me minimize some of this stuff out. Minimize. You know what? And boom. I'll pull this up just for you. Just for you, Bob. There it is. Ain't she pretty? Oh, ain't she pretty? 4294 cab forward. And I go watching train videos and stuff, and I have to, I'm segueing here. Well, I'm not segueing, I'm going off on a tangent. So I found a video on YouTube of, I don't know if I can't remember the number now, if it was this one or another cab forward, but an actual cab forward in operation, which I went, wow, there is one. And then I did find another one too, of old Southern Pacific in like the 80s and the 90s, working Northwestern Pacific lines. And yes, it was kind of nice to see the town I grew up in, and a lot of the towns that I played in when I was younger, all up and down along, you know, the California coast, being serviced by old Southern Pacific Railroad, you know, old Southern Pacific engines. Yeah, no, it was kind of nice. It was really kind of nice. I'm like, wow, that just brought back memories. But I told you, Bob, it took a while for me to find the picture. Told you I was going to find the picture. There it is. So, anyway, enough of that. So we're going to get back into... So, I don't know if anybody's got any questions on this, but this is, I mean, if you got questions, come in. My Discord channel should be in the link. If it's, you know, in my description. If it's not there, I will go ahead and add it. But you can come on to my Discord channel, leave me a question, I'll answer it there. Also, leave me a comment here, questions in the comment section on this video. I'll do my best to answer them. So, but this is what I do. I mean, it's just to create car flow, movement of cars on the map from one location to another without it just, you know, coming on the map and then leaving the map. And that's, you'll see what I have. I got like a ton of cars waiting to be sent over the mountain to Roseville. They're going to be pushed over the hump, build trains, and then send those off the map. So that's what I do. This is one thing that I do now. What do I do? How did I get this? That's the key. How did I get this particular list? And honestly, it's really very easy. Go back in here. Now, if I come into, let's see. Okay, so industry configuration. I can go click on this tab, industry configuration, and then export industry configuration. And boom. Okay, well, you get a little notification up here, file written. But where is that file? That's the question. Where is the file? So there is a utility. Let's see if I can bring this up for you guys. So there's a utility that I have right here, External Assistant for Run 8. So you can download that, put that there, and you can actually configure that every time you bring up Run 8, it automatically loads, and it runs in your system tray right down here. Now, if you see the little watermark, I think, yeah, it's on the screen. Please ignore the watermark. I'm fighting with Microsoft on that. The watermark's there because they pulled my my license key because I added memory and changed my video card. So I'm fighting with them and trying to get the license key reestablished. So, and I think that should happen here shortly. So anyway, but here it is in the system tray, External Assistant for Run 8, and if you click on that, it brings up all this information, and if you want to find those documentation, for like your user guides, 15-minute quick start guide, break quick reference guide, all that'll take you right there. Just click on it, takes you right there. Depot maps will automatically open up all the maps that you have that are on the Depot website. So everything's there. The only one that's not there is the new Pittsburgh one. So that the secondary, the Pittsburgh secondary is not on there yet. So there should be an update coming. Then the CSV paths. This is where you're going to find the paths to the file. So in the case here, the file that we just created, Northern California, UP Roseville. And when you click on that, it just takes you right to where you're going to find it. And of course, today is the 11th. Here's my industry configuration file that I just wrote for today. And that's how you find the file. You can open it up in whatever program that you're going to use, Excel, LibreOffice, OpenOffice, Google Sheets. But that's how you use that. So that's another utility, the external Run 8, external whatever. What did I call it again? I forgot it. I forgot. External Assistant for Run 8. That's what you want to use. So, come on. There we go. So, I highly recommend that. That's a great little utility. It works with anything, whether it's the any files that you create, car report, car generating report, anything like that will be in those files. And so you can print those out. If you're kind of like a person like me and you want something in your hands, you're kind of tactile, and be able to scribble notes on the side of the paper, then you can bring that up and then just print it out. You can scribble your notes or work on it and then bring it back in. Now if you ever do manipulate any files inside Run 8, of course, back them up first. So alright, coffee sip time. Okie dokie. So it's the same thing. If we do right control L, we're going to pull up the switch list. This is a switch list for the train that we are in control of, and the train, of course, the train has to be tagged for the same local that the cars are a part of in order to get the switch list. Right control L, and you can do the same thing, export switch list, and it will go into that same folder, and you can use the external assistant for Run 8 to find it, because it's really kind of hard. There's no, I don't recall. I don't recall it. Any of the documentation telling you where to go find it. So there's that, and then the other thing that I want to show that I'm using is how to route trains the way auto works. And there's a great video put out by High Rail Simulations on how auto works. But it's auto, the way it's set up right now is not the end all be all. It is extremely configurable. They configure it in such a way that it's enough for them to test the routes, but not all of the train symbols are going to be in that. So this is something that you would have to do yourself. is if you create it, even if you create your own train symbol, say, I don't know, I want this to go over the hill to Roseville, but I just want the symbol to say just Roseville. Well, if that's not in Auto is going to route it as best he can, and it may not go where you want it to go. So, you know, that's not on Auto, that's on us, because we're not configuring, and in some way, probably on the developers of Run 8 as well, because they really haven't explained how to configure that. So like anything else, when you configure a file, back it up first, configure the backup file, then you can replace it, or you know, whatever you have to do. Okay, I mean, whatever your process is, you know, best thing is just back up your stuff. So what do we use? Well, I want to get into, oops, here we go. I want to get into train symbol routing is what I'm looking for. So I'm going to open this up, and we get this page here. Now this page is from, I'm drawing a blank. It is Highball Run 8. Highball Run 8 website. But there's a link inside the Depot Plus forums. Go search for it. I put it in my bar up here so that I can get to it any time. And then in order to choose the file that we want to manipulate, we can just go to choose file, and then we go find our Run 8 folder. So in this case, go here, we're going to go to content, V3 routes, and I'm looking for SPUP Roseville is where I'm at. And then right here, train symbol routing.xml. And we open it up, and this is the best way because this actually writes the file the way it needs to be written in the proper format so it can be used by Run 8. So I'm using NorCal because NorCal is very, very basic, very, very easy. So and it tells us, you know, you got the code here. First one at Amtrak 1. Roseville Y only. That's number 2. So where trains would go if you're heading out, if you know that, know these particular codes. Basically, PT Portland, EU's Eugene, of course Seattle. That's Seattle, Washington. HK, I forgot the name of the town, but that's up in Oregon as well. So most of these would be car or trains that you want to go north. But wait, Roseville, the way the yard work, trains come east-west. West would go to the Bay Area or go down south to Fresno, Bakersfield, all that, or it goes east and up over the mountains to Sparks and beyond. So where does north come in? Why does it go north? Well, the Y, they get in the Run 8 here, go back out. So right here on, remember, once again, this is not a map, this is your dispatching board, so it's just a representation. Turn around. Okay, so here's the Y right here. We go this way, that is heading up out Roseville east, eventually go up and over the mountains out there in the distance, and end up in Sparks. This is our hump yard behind us. And if you want to go north, you're going to go out to Sunset. And this will go north here, and eventually go up and head on north up to Oregon, Washington. So any trains that you're going to send up that way, that's the route that UP takes. So, and where that's based off of, if I can find it, it's going to be believe it's one of these two right here. Even if you're coming out of the yard at this little dwarf signal right there, it'll route automatically going up this way. So even if you want to create like a fictitious city that's somewhere north, you know, then you would just type in all capitals, Bob, the city of Bob. Yeah, SP Bob. The city of SP Bob. I wasn't even thinking of you, Bob, when I said Bob. I just did Bob. But the city of Bob. And just click add. And there it is. Automatically adds it to that particular file. So now if you put a train on there that's leaving RV Roseville going to BOB, you know, whether it's, you know, I-RV BOB or whatever, as long as Bob is in there, when it comes to leave the yard, it'll come out and go out that Y, head north. So obviously to remove it, we're going to take the same thing, go Bob, BOB, hit delete that one, Bob, done, okay. So that's it, and that's how you remove it. Oops, resubmit form, yeah. Anyway, so that's another tool. Obviously the bigger routes that you would use to create these symbols, this is the part that it's kind of hard to figure out where they're at. Roseville, or the SPUP Roseville subdivision, very easy, very basic, not that much to it, so it's a great way to get your feet wet. But if you start getting into all the different Southern California ones, or the CSX ones, or the ones for Norfolk Southern, then it might be a little harder, especially if you're like me and not familiar with those areas. I'm familiar with Southern California, but I'm not familiar with Florida, I'm not familiar with Georgia, I'm not familiar with Pennsylvania, I'm not familiar with the New York area, Mohawk or Selkirk. So it would take some research on my part or your part in order to figure out where that code is connected to. And it's connected to somewhere on a basically on one of the checkpoint lights. That's where that's set up at. So can you add points? No. Can you take away points? No. But all you can do is add a train routing symbol to one of those points to hopefully help you route the train the way you want to go. So shooting from the hip here, guys. I hope that was clear as mud. Things that I do, things that I'm trying to change. Oh, let me go back to the industry. I left that out. So with the industry, car type, same thing. We'll go back and use my center beam. Oh, how to figure out how to do these little drop-down boxes so you can filter. LibreOffice, that is actually going to be right here. Auto filter, Control Shift L. Select the line that you want to put the the auto filters on, and that automatically just, as you click that, it adds it. Click it again, it takes it away. But in this case here, let's go ahead and take a look at I want to look at, where do I go? Pronghorn transload. I'll use that one as an example. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come up here and I'm going to copy. So left Control C, we're just going to copy that. Then we're going to come back into Run 8. And I'm going to do left Control I to pull up the industry here. We're going to go Pronghorn. Oh, went right past it. There it is, Pronghorn transload. So box cars, center beam flat cars, they take box cars too, but here's the center beam flat cars. I'm just going to take all that out. Left Control V, and we're going to put it right back in again. So that has now been changed to the center beam flat cars. One of those is going to get selected, and that includes the industry LRV64 base SPI. And then I just want to make sure that I put a, if I'm going to add anything to it, put a comma in there, or the delimiter, and then I can add another industry to it if I wanted to. So that's what I do. That's how I do it. Now, actually, yeah. So that way, potentially then pronghorn, which is YSP 52, that's the local freight number. It'll empty the car, because it creates empty the car, and then send it back to LRV 64 SPI. Okay, so this is in Sparks. That's going to send that car to Roseville, up and over the mountain, and where the car is going to get loaded again. Now, you could change that and change the tag so that it doesn't have to go all the way over the mountain, but maybe there's a certain wood or something. You use your imagination, play with it. That's pretty much what we're trying to do here, and just have cars rotating, floating around. Same thing for the box cars. We're going to pull up the box cars. We could change this. I mean, that's an awful lot of tags. Maybe minimize those tags. Minimize the chance of the car going off map, and then a better chance of that particular car, because it's a wood product, so maybe that box car is going to go to a hardware store somewhere, or maybe a furniture store somewhere. Something. We don't know. Use your imagination. So that's pretty much it. And so that's kind of what I'm doing right now with Northern California, and creating this car flow. And I'll leave this panel up here because now I can come back and talk about JMRI, which I was talking about at the very beginning. JMRI would use your cars and the industries that you have programmed into it to create switch lists and car flow. This, if we do it this way inside of Run 8, this is what JMRI would do. That's why I say JMRI, maybe not so much for Run 8, but maybe for other other train simulators. JMRI might work for you. Definitely, if you have a model railroad, look at JMRI. It'd be huge for a model railroad. But for a for Run 8, not needed. Things like, industry configuration, which is part of JMRI, is already in Run 8. Switch lists, already part of Run 8. Pretty much everything is already part of Run 8. So anyway, here I am. So let's get to work and have some fun. Now that part's done. Once again, shot from the hip, clear as mud. I think I got one. Let's go back to Sparks. I got one. I'll come back to Sparks. Fly, little birdie. I think I got one. Now I'll show you. Like I said, I've been doing a little bit of work. I've got this local here I still need to work. And I got all these outbound and these up here as well too. I'm not pulling these to send them over the mountain yet until I get this one done and have that one pick up any cars that need to come in, and get anything that's going outbound will be tied to these two trains. I'm going to actually, you can see it's going to be massive. One big long outbound manifest train going up and over the mountain, so it'll be fun. We're gonna have some fun with that too. We'll get that rolling. At the beginning of the video you saw I got some trains moving through. I got some animation going in on the map too. We can talk about that if we do left shift and F2. Alright, so I've got two trains going, and West Colton to North Platte. That one came in from left. Actually, I had that one spawning inside the Roseville yard, so it'll actually, if that track's clear, it'll show up. If it's not clear, it won't. The other one is North Platte to MI would be Martinez, I believe. So it's going to the Martinez yard in California. Is a car, basically that's an auto rack that's going in, and I want to look at that one East Hafed. Okay, so we're going to choose that. So intermodal is selected. I think everything else is not selected. Unit rack was not. Oh, it was not. It had a little bit on it. It had a very little bit on it. So any little bit creates a chance for that train to spawn. That's all right. It's life. I mean, there's auto racks that go up and over. So I have intermodal set up right now. Oops, intermodal. Here we go. So North Platte to West Colton. That's what's going. That's basically I have that one set up to do spawn and head over the thing. So it's going to come on the map from the east, go off the map in the west, on its way down to West Colton. So route, auto just takes that up and over. Easy one. Don't have to do any special tags. Don't have to add anything. But I can also have a manifest come in if I wanted to. Come in at East Hafed. Oh, Hafed westbound. So that would be down here. Train spawns in down here and can just run in and become a part of Sparks, Nevada. Or we can have it come up and over the mountain, come to Roseville, push it over the hump yard, sort it, and then send it back again if we need to. And that's kind of what I was doing, just to have life on the map. Just also use that yard. So, all right, let's go ahead and I'm going to look up. I'm here to do. I want to go back. Destination, Northern California. YSP 50 right here. Fernco, Micro Metal Corporation, Patterson Paper. So let's go look at Fernco. Where are these guys at? Alright, let's get back on this. I need my maps. Now I have these maps printed out as well too. So, because I actually kind of like having map. I actually got a pen, a pencil here as well too, so I like to jot down notes on them as I see things. I go back to if I have to reconfigure an industry, I can jot a note down on paper next to that industry and say, okay, I need to retag it. An example was the TTL, which is Tahoe Truckee Lumber Company, that was on a different local that came out of Roseville, but it was actually honestly time-wise closer to have it come out of Sparks, so I changed it. So that's why I just jot things down in pencil. Okay, YSP 50. Oh, there's Fernco. Okay. Alright, I see what I need to do. Okay. So I'm basically... We're going to pull that train up. I'm going to go out this route here, but in order to do it, I need to pull the train up, back it in, and then I'm going to do a runaround. Pull it. And if I'm going to do a runaround, I need to get it on this track right here. Or best yet is push back on this track, run around it, come down here, come back, and then I can just go ahead and push back into back into there. Alright, so okay, I got one spot at the very end. If I push back, okay, that's right. By that time we should be down. I got a 665 foot area to where I can pull out, hopefully run around, and then push into Fernco, and then it'll be pushed back into the yard. Push, pull, all that kind of good stuff. So, all right. Let's go see what trouble I can get into. All right, how long have we been going here? This is almost 50 minutes. Okay. I'm going to... Yep, 50 minutes. Okay. All right. Wait a minute. Did I just... Oh, I got some YSP 54 as well, too. YSP 54, 54, 54, 54, 54. So I actually need the breaker right there. YSP 50. That's all the way to the end. MMC. Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and let's get these things fired up. Get on the ground, play conductor. Do I have audio? Let me double check. I do. All right. I have a YSP 54. So I have another local sitting here that needs to be worked. All right, we're going to go ahead and close that off. All right. Let's make sure we have open, okay. Oops. Yep. So are we traveling for Christmas? What's up, Hank? How you doing? I am back. Oh man, thanks, Hank. Man, I missed you guys too. Trust me, man. A lot of work, very busy. By the time I got home, it was like, I mean, I would fire the computer up, and then it was like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna go watch some TV. And it's been hectic. It's been crazy. Yeah, they're getting antsy. They know holidays are coming. Their time off is coming. All right, we're all good there. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead, run back down here. That's 50. All right, we're gonna go here. Applied. Okay, good. So actually, I should have went through when I was looking at these. I missed an opportunity to go release. Or release. That's a 50. There we go. Release. 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 So, but I've got this week, next week, 2 days next week, and both those days they just announced that they're minimum days. So it will be back to doing some more streaming, maybe 2 hours a day. All right, so let's go ahead and push back. Okay, close, good. All right, let's push back. I need to bump back and reverse. Okay. That's what I'm looking for. Boom, there we go. All right, little pump back, that's perfect. Let's go ahead and pull forward. All right. I think also solo player, as much as I like the CSX territory, it's really pretty. Solo player wise, this is actually very casual. I don't feel, well, I mean, let's put it this way. You get into, well, CSX, the southeast area, it'd be kind of nice to have extra people on there helping out. That's why I need to spend more time over at on the High Green server. Although yesterday I ran a local out of here, and I took the local up to up all the way up to Truckee. Had to go all the way up there. That was the longest run. Alright, we're going to come back, and we're going to come down this line right here. That was fun, going all the way up to Truckee and making that turn up there, picking up wood products, and then going back down again. And coasting all the way downhill, nothing but dynamics. Speaking of. Oh, and the other thing too is I've been telling everybody I was going to go buy the rail driver. And man, it's like everybody and their uncle decided to get it, because a lot of places where I was going to get a good price on it have sold out. So, and I just decided, I put it out there, you know, Christmas is coming. I'm like, you know what? Hopefully my family, hey, where you going? Thought I had put the brakes on, but I guess I didn't. There we go. Okay. Oops. I forgot. Dynamic brakes are on. So how you doing, Hank? Come down. Yeah. Coming down to 156. This is 156 right here. 159's right there. Okay. This works. What was that? You're doing solo play in PA? Gotcha. Now, have you did you get the new DLC for PA? That one looks very interesting. And it looks very much, pretty much just all coal is what I saw out of it. Let me get off of here. I need to run forward. This one. Oh, good. They're all set up. Okay. Keep coming back. Not yet, considering. Yeah, I think if you really want to get into coal operations, that's what my take on it was. All right, I think I want to come down here. Yes, I do. You get some. Give it a little bit more beans there. It was slowing down. That's alright, because that's actually, I'm on an uphill grade. Oh, you know what? I don't. I just saw that. I don't. I want to come down this side right here. Run fast! Run! Run, Forrest, run! All right, there we go. I'm considering. I'll get it because we got they've. I mean, I'm a completionist, so I've got to have it because who knows? I might want to play it, and someday when I want to play it, I won't have it, so I want to get it. Then there's the new car pack. Was it Freight Car Pack 5? And then I've already noticed, in fact, that when after I did the update, I noticed a change to some of the well, like to some of the, so you know, like, well, especially like if you look at this one down here, all the rust and everything they have on it, they really, I kind of like what they did. The weathering on some of the cars. So I've got some, I got some things like you notice that on my screen here. Now it doesn't show up when I don't share my entire monitor, but on the monitor I said down there low it says activate Windows. That's my fight with Microsoft right now, and my fight with them, and I'm hoping I can win this one. But my fight with them is that they want me to buy another key, and the reason that showed up is because I changed my video card and I added more memory to my system. And one of the things that I will be buying for myself as my own little Christmas present, I'm hoping the prices come down, as I'll be getting a new processor as well. So new processor, new fan, basically except for the motherboard, everything was going to be like redone. So it's just I don't know, it bothers me that Microsoft is that intrusive. I mean, it's my system, I have the right to upgrade it. Why are you making me buy another license key? But it is what it is. Alright, so I'm going to pull back this in to just about right in there. Take the engines off, pull forward, come on down, a little run around. That way I can pick them up, pull them forward, and then I'll be pushing, and I'll be pushing back into this area here. And we'll come up with a plan and strategy, because these are not sorted. But the last two are on the very last company, so if I don't know, I have to look at the switch list, and I'll come up, we'll look at it here. And the last time, Bob was like, this is where, you know, the conductor would put your hands around your neck. And I'm like, yeah, I got you, Bob. So I learned from that conversation. Or I should say comment. It wasn't really a conversation. It was just a comment. But he made a point. All right, we're going to bring this to a stop here. Put 3 cars on. Yeah, I think this is one of the cars that they weathered. So I like the looks of it. I just never noticed that kind of condition before. And then I think this one down here as well too was one that was weathered as part of the update. See, this has got some weathering on it too, but this is, I mean, today's world, this is still too pristine. So but yeah, I like this. And there's one of them I saw that, and I was looking at a camera which one. Actually, they actually added a little bit of graffiti on it as well too. I'm like, okay, all right. All right, let's close that. I'll also go ahead and put a couple of brakes on here as well too. All right. And we are in reverse. There we go. Just a little bump. Then we're going to pull forward. Whoa! Stop that! I had that turned off. Alright, come back down here. Ooh, we're flying at 23 miles an hour. Little fast. Let's slow this thing down. I'm just coasting. Alright, we're under 10. Here we go. Pretend like we know what we're doing. There are some nice improvements. But that was all done by high rail simulations. So, which, I know I get some of the developers for Run 8 are also part of high rail simulations. I would still like to see a huge improvement to the graphics. I want to play around with it because right now my graphics, I have the game running through my GPU, and I just can't get rid of the jaggies. Hence why I want to change my processor, see if that helps it. Yeah, I did. I'm using my horn. Sun's going down here in Sparks. Lights are starting to come on. Oh, speaking of which, that light just came on. That's kind of nice. So I don't know. You guys tell me. I'm looking. Like I said, I've been looking at Trains 22, and I'm either going to just do the base model, or they have the one that's like $70. There's one that you can do that's a monthly subscription, but in the long run, that's going to be more than just the $70. If I buy the base model, I don't know if there's an option to say, okay, I really like this, I'm going to upgrade to the bigger one, or am I stuck at was it $40 for the base model, then in order to get everything else, I'd have to go to the monthly subscription. I don't want to lock myself in that way. Yes, you can do scenarios. I don't like scenarios, but that was another streamer that I've been chatting with. That was his thing. He goes, yeah, you can do scenarios, but he also runs it like Run 8. The feature I like about it, to be honest with you, is building your own, basically you build your model railroad, and I kind of like that. Because I have something in mind, in my head, of what if I were to build a model railroad. Now, the thing about if I build it, can you print a map out? I don't know. It'd be interesting. Okay, let's come off the brakes. We're on a downhill, so we'll see if it starts rolling. No, let's give it a little nudge. There we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All brakes are off, so it came to a stop. So let's go ahead and give it some beans here. I've seen some that build it as though it were on a table in their basement. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've been watching the same thing. That I'm going the wrong direction. I forgot to reverse. There we go. I forgot to change my lead locomotive. And it looks very interesting. I've watched some people do it. I've seen pictures of some that like, hey, this is my model railroad, and it looks like it's on, you can see the bench work and everything. I'm like, wow, I mean, that's pretty cool. I'm curious, like I said, okay, if you're going to build a bench work, is this, how far down or how detailed can it get? Can it tell you, okay, you need this much wood cut to this piece, like these kind of pieces cut to like this, or is it just generalities, and this is so it looks like a model railroad, and then you just get down and run it as if you're running run 8. But graphically, it's really very pretty, and there's a great video out there too of the history of trains, how it started, and what they were trying to do, and it is made with the model railroader in mind. So I was like, all right, how we doing? Are we still okay? We're not bled. Let's go bleed these cars. All right. Medic Matt, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Oh man, I appreciate that, Medic man. I missed you guys too. I mean, I was telling Hank earlier that it's been very busy at work. We've got lots of sports, man. I mean, oh my gosh. Our boys soccer, they took it all last year, and they're already undefeated, and we're like about maybe almost not even halfway through the season yet, but we're undefeated, and these guys, and it's the same squad as last year. We only lost like three students to graduation, so it's basically the same squad, and those guys they're better, faster than they were last year, so I think they're going to repeat. That's been kind of fun to watch. And and then there's we got all kinds of stuff going on, and then there's just just your basic high school shenanigans that we have to deal with. So, all right, what do we got? Let's see. Go back to, hey, if you mean, can you export a blueprint of what you make in the game and produce real life? Not that I've seen. Yeah, I don't. I've figured the same thing, Hank. I figured if you could, somebody would show it. But then again, what I did earlier part in this video, I don't think I've seen anybody else show it. They've talked about it, but they don't really show it. And when I came on tonight, I was just going to run a train, and I got onto, I'm going to show my entire computer screen, not just the game. And this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm trying to set the industries for, flow of cars, not only on and off the map, but between industries. When I get done here, that's probably what I do. I'll probably turn the TV on and sit there and watch TV with my laptop in there and work the Excel file. Or, I'll call it an Excel file because that's just generic, but it's going to be a file for LibreOffice and start changing the car flow. I don't believe I need to. Or a trail. We'll get some lights on there just in case. Okay, there we go. I don't need. Oops. Wrong one. There we go. I don't need high beams on, but I do want high beams on the front. Okay. Getting dark here. Getting dark. Alright, so I'm going to set this one up. Let's look at the switch list. Alright, so MMC's at the end. I got 3 on the end and 2 up here at the front. I can get rid of the 3. And then I got SWC. I got 2 for SWC. Get rid of the 3. 2 for SWC. Excuse me. Actually, I might pull forward. Okay, so I'm looking at the map. I'll show you guys what I'm looking at here. Let's get into depot. Let's go to maps. Scroll down. Alright, so this is the YSP 50, which is the local we're running right now. I got MMC down here at the end. That one, I got a total of 5 cars. So 330 feet, but the red, I have 2 different areas I can set out. I have Sweetheart Paper, what was it? Sweetheart Cup Company, and then Patterson Pacific Papers. But with the switch list, the Patterson Pacific is before Sweetheart, so I might drop off the 3, pull forward, drop off the 2, go back, drop off the Sweetheart Company, and I think I can probably, at that point, maneuver things around in such a way that I might be able to get the other 2 that are up by the head end as well, because the consist is not sorted in any way. So yeah, I talked about, like what I'm doing in LibreOffice to sort industries and to sort things and change things, and I showed the website for where you can actually change the configuration file for auto, which is a huge thing. So if you get, like, you're in Norfolk Southern, I mean, like, I don't know NS tags, I don't know CSS tags, although I was getting to know them pretty well. But what if I wanted to come up with my own? Like, say I wanted to do a L, because I know that here's an example. All the tags for CSX are from the late 90s, early 2000s. Since then, CSX has changed their tags. And what was stated by High Rail was that when they created that run, and it's the same thing for here, because this was, Northern Cal was done by Run 8. And once again, same developers. So they put in just enough tags to test the run. If you want to add tags, then there's a way to do that, and there's a great website that will help you write that file so that it won't mess up auto. Of course, anytime you go to change anything, back up your files, back up your stuff before you make those changes. So anyway, that's all I kind of shot from the hip on all that. That's all at the beginning. But if you wanted to change, instead of doing a K, I think, I might be wrong here, but I think CSX, the K tags were their locals. For why they came up with K, I don't know. But then they changed to L. That makes sense. L means local. Okay. Well, that particular area, I figured out L means local. 6 is the southeast area. But then the other 2 numbers mean something else for CSX. So I'm doing a local out of Rice Yard. I'm going to do an L. Maybe I'll change that K local to an L. But then in order for auto to be able to route me correctly, I have to go into that file and change that same tag from a K to an L. So I can change it in the game, but you got to go into the file to change it there so auto works. And NorCal, I showed NorCal because honestly, NorCal is actually pretty basic if you think about it. So your only routing is up and over the mountains, and whether you're going to be heading out of the yard here in Sparks going east, or you're going to be heading out of the yard going west, going to Roseville, and have your train automatically route into the Roseville yard and stop. So that's, that's where the routing editor comes in. So, but the more I dive into Run 8, the more I realize how configurable it is. It's extremely configurable, but there's not a lot of documentation and not a lot of how-tos. So honestly, as I try to figure something else and get a handle on it and go, you know what, I think I can explain this now, then I'm going to turn around and bring it to you guys. So, all right, let's get to work. Enough talking. My supervisor just called me. He said, yeah, you're talking too much. Put down the coffee cup and get to work. So I'm going to put down the coffee cup and get to work. My coffee's cold anyway. All right, let's pull forward past this spot here. I'm going to hang with you guys tonight. I mean, unless something comes up, I'm going to hang with you guys until this local is done. Until all the cars are, we got all our pickles. We don't have that much in the way of set outs, to be honest with you. So we got the pillow factory, we got strategic equipment supply. Those are only our, we got 2, 4, 6, 7 cars we're picking up. 9 cars we're setting out. So we're going to come back lighter. In fact, everything is empty that we're picking up. We got some loaded that we're going to be setting out, but not a lot. That's interesting. Oh, gondola. Okay. So, and I've never been down this route. I have not worked this one yet. So we're going to see what we got. Excuse me. All right, come off the throttle. There it is. It's one of the new ones. All right, hitting the brake. We're going to be flipping the switch. I want to run up front just to make sure I'm not over any of the switches, because knowing me, I do pull over switches, and I have not. Okay, good. So I'm not going to get a stretch culprit situation. Let's get on the back of this thing. Actually, it's not. Now I think about it. Gotta run down and want to check this switch first. Yep, that's what I thought. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and flip this one. Let's come down here, make sure this one's set right. All right, here we go. We're gonna push all the way back to the very end. And this will give us an overview of where the other pickups are. And then I got one more small little cut of cars over here. Where did I leave them? Oh, right, somewhere in here. Somewhere down there. Somewhere I left a small cut of cars that I got to work. And then I've been working locals over here. These are all cars that I've picked up from some of the other locals that I worked here in Sparks, and they're all ready to go over the mountain. So I'm going to have a big, long string going over the mountain. I will probably not haul that up over the mountain. I'll set that on AI. Because as much as I like running transit, and going over the mountain's not that long. It's probably about 4 hours to make it over the mountain. 6 hours. No, actually about 6 hours. Even Amtrak's 6 hours in real life. All right, let's go. Back, come off the brakes. We can hear the horn. Turn my flashlight on because it's getting a little dark here. You know, another train that I've never run in this game has been an Amtrak. I should do an Amtrak train. Alright, I'm going downhill, so I'm going to hit a little bit of the brakes on this. I think they've, in those updates too, not only did I think they fixed the paint, I've noticed something different in the sound too. Some of these cars grind, squeal, and squeak more than what they used to. I think this last update was actually pretty rich in fixes. And this is one of them. You see all the rust and everything? Now we're starting to get, and that's the one thing with like even model railroading. It's like, you know what, we got to add some weathering to the cars to make them look realistic, because very rarely do you ever see like a brand new pristine car. And you know, another industry I need to fix, and it's in Roseville on this map, is I got to set up an industry for car repair, because there is a repair shop. All right. So as we're pushing back, light on the brakes. So Fernco is right here. I believe, where is it? No, you know what? We gotta go past Glendale Avenue and then Freeport Boulevard. Okay. No, we're not down there yet, but so here's Fernco, F-E-R. Oh. There we go. No cars coming anyway. Alright, so there's Fernco. So we got to be pushing back, because that's the only one that we have. So at some point, I'm going to have to come in here, and hopefully I can do a nice little runaround right here. Here's the pillow factory. We got some cars to pick up from there. We can wait. How are we doing? Let's slow it down a little bit. Thank you. Yep, you put too much brakes on. Off the brakes. Okay, SES, the Strategic Equipment Supply. You got to pick up from there, I believe. Yep, we got 2 cars to pick up from there, and then we got the 5 cars right here from the pillow factory. Okay, let's push back. Going uphill a bit. We got Sparky's Donuts. Do I have anything for Sparky's Donuts? Nothing for Sparky's Donuts. No donuts for anybody tonight. No donuts. I got coffee, but no donuts. That's just terrible. At least this way these got tagged correctly. No, a lot of the industry has been working since I did the update on the from the depot. A lot of these industries had a 4-letter tagging system on the cars, but that's not what they set up for the hump yard. So I'm trying to get, that's the other thing I worked on too, is the hump yard and how to configure it. And I think I've got my configuration set so that it will sort the cars, and something that I've yet to see it actually do is actually use a set of tracks for overflow. So I'm going to set that up too. What do we got here? North Platte. Oh, this is SES. Yeah, Strategic Equipment Supply. We got to pick them up. We're going to try to see. Hopefully, we can fit inside that area, so we can do a little run around. That'd be kind of nice. Hopefully, we can. That was a little close. I just realized that. Not really. We're okay. Sparky's Donuts right there. Never heard of Sparky's Donuts. All right. Now we get to loop around this building. We have Patterson Pacific Paper and Sweetheart Cup Company, and then Micro Metal Corporation. I'm looking at the signs right here. I'm thinking about a buddy of mine whose brother lives in Iowa. Not sure what was going on or what was happening, but he went to cross over railroad tracks that had nothing but signs like that and got hit by a train. So fortunately the train was traveling light, just the locomotives. But yeah, his brother's still in the hospital, his sister-in-law is out of the hospital, and the 3 kids that were with him. Actually, the 3 kids, man, they spent the night in urgent care and then got released to family. They were fine. But this is just my little thing. I don't know what happened. I don't know the circumstances. All I know is that's all they had were just the posts with the white cross. Ladies and gentlemen, you come see those. If you don't have any crossing guards, you don't have any flashing lights, do the smart thing. Stop, look, listen. Turn your music down. Get off your headphones. Put your phone away. Stop texting while driving. You're not supposed to do it anyway. And now I'm off my soapbox again. Yeah, well, that's a good point. I don't know. I guess the first thing, that's what I told my buddy, was to look at, go to the FRA. What do they I mean, they don't have any, well, I guess they do have some hard and fast rules, but for the most part, it's recommendations. We recommend that you do this. We recommend that you do that. Then they leave it up to the railroad companies to actually come up with a hard and fast rule, namely kicking cars. They came, I just got curious one time. I was reading up on kicking cars, and the FRA became, they got very, they never came out and said you shouldn't do it. They just said that if you do it, you need to have a hard and fast rule about how you do it. All right, so Micro Metal Corporation gets 2 different types of cars. And we have 2 tracks back here. So I'm thinking Micro Metal is going to get gondolas on one and then boxcars up against the building. Where's my pencil? A little star right there, because that means when I'm looking at it tonight. But yeah, you're right. I think they are supposed to get out and stand there with flags, and but can't. If you're traveling light, do you have to do that? Either way, it's still a tragedy, and something that could have been avoided, I think. All right. Well, this is interesting. MMC, all the way up here. So Sweetheart Cup Company goes here. I'm looking at the map, so it's almost MMC all the way back to here and back here. Yeah, so I'm thinking... Yeah, I'm really thinking it'll be, you know, because of the doors, logically speaking. I'm going to put the, so I have one boxcar. Actually, I want to come on down here. One boxcar, and then I got a gondola. So I think a gondola is going to be here, boxcars are going to be there. And actually, let's take a look at something here too. Micro Metal. Boxcars are empties. Gondolas are roads. Okay, so that makes sense to me. Gondolas will be, that's like scrap metal. But the boxcars are coming in loaded and going out empty. So... Alright, some kind of manufacturing. Got it. Okay, and then the gondolas are... Which I could actually even set the time to make the gondolas wait there for a longer period of time, because it would take a while for them to... But once again, you know, it's your model railroad, but use your imagination. Nice. Someday I'm going to have to get on there and work that map, because that Rose Yard is just amazing. All right. I think I kind of proved it with doing the CSX out of Rice Yard. You can spend forever just working Rice Yard and not do anything else on the map. Do the same thing in Barstow or even in Davis Yard in Roseville. West Colton, you could just spend your time working the yard. I kind of like mixing it up. The only thing is, like, doing a road train can be... I mean, if there's like a new map, I would do a road train just to show the map. But then afterwards I would do... Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I don't know, it just seems, I enjoy, you know, working industries and switching, pushing cars over the hump yard, you know, over the hump, things like that. But just to drag a car up and over a mountain or down, you know, I do it, like I said, I do it once just to see the map and what it's all about. But the rest of the time I'm out there working industries, because that just seems like fun to me. Now, going back to the thing before, like you asked the question, shouldn't the conductor have gotten out and blocked the intersection? What are they going to do if they get their way and decide just to go put one man in the engine, just go have an engineer and no conductors? So that's what the industry wants. What the unions are fighting, not moving. I do road trains when I read over the week's lessons. Yep, makes sense. Have it run and glance at it every so often. Now, do you actually run it, or do you AI it and then just ride along? Let's get some brakes on there. We're gonna apply some brakes. Now, I am not going so much as to make sure the car lines up with the door, but yeah, in the real world, that's what you'd want to do. All right. Okay, we're going to pull forward. Oh, maybe if I take the brakes off, we can pull forward. Oh, I got close on that one. Nope, 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 stop. Yep, two. You guys saw it. Yeah, look at it. You get to watch me fix a coupler problem. That's what I was trying to bet. I missed that. I was talking and I wasn't paying attention and I missed that switch. Yeah. Leave me alone. Okay. Easy fix, because it wasn't aired up. Now I gotta come back down here and do this again. Okay. We're good, so we should be good now. How you do that? Run it! Let's see. I do trains when reading. Okay, place. I think they would have to put signals at each road crossing. I run it. Yeah, they would have to invest in that. I mean, that's, and of course they're going to look at what's the investment. I mean, there's a bean counter somewhere going, you know what, we might get rid of these guys, but in the long run, we're going to save money on payroll and benefits and all that good stuff. So, yeah, no, I think it's a mistake, to be honest with you. I think it's a huge safety concern. You know, and there's no coincidence. All right, let's see what we can do. See if we got out of this. Okay, that's an MMC. That's TPF. That's the Pillow Factory. Interesting. I didn't think the Pillow Factory got those. Come on back. Bean counter. Well, I mean, seriously, it's somebody's going to be counting and everything, and that's the last. In any company, I think that's the last position that goes are the accountants. But yeah, they're going to figure it out that we reduce our workforce. And I've been a manager. I've managed stores, and that really is what it came down to, is that it was what's your easiest expense that you can cut, and it's the workforce. Other things, you just can't cut. You can do your best to try to reduce it. Exactly. You want job security, be an accountant. But yeah, I mean, that's exactly what they're thinking. And as much of a fan of Union Pacific as I am over BNSF, Union Pacific, I thought it was BNSF that was pushing it because, Warren Buffett, that's a Warren Buffett company, and that would be something that he would do. All right, the Pillow Factory, that's up at the front, but there is a spur up here I can drop that car off at. Put the SWC in there. Patterson paper. And then I got the other two MMCs left. And then I can come back and pick up the Pillow Factory. $165, that's 665 feet. $835 feet on the Pillow Factory. Did I buy? You know what? I don't have to stop at Fernco. I thought I did. Oh, I don't have to do a run around. Awesome. I thought I was going to have to. I thought I had a Fernco, but I don't have a Fernco. Okay. I have a plan. It's a small plan, but I have a plan. Can I pop this? Nope. Alright. Push back. Come on. Push back. Why are you... Oh, I did do it. I'm looking... Oh, I must be tired. Uncouple. I already did. Okay. Alright, we're going to pull all the way up. Excuse me. Coming through. Dude, do you see how fast that guy was running? Man, he was booking. His kids were on fire. Alright, I'm going to go past this spot here. And we're going to put that Patterson Paper Company in the Pillow Factory. I'm going to put, that's what I do. Do the Pillow Factory in here. I think I'll leave it there. Drop off what I need to go do. Go grab the Pillow Factory, come back, grab it. I don't know. We'll play by ear. Might be able to pull forward and leave it in that one spot. Okay, I know what I do. Never mind. Never mind what I just said. Forget it. I'll tell you, switching out these industries has become a lot more fun before, since I don't pre-sort. I used to pre-sort by industries in the order that I was going to drop off industries. I stopped doing that, and it made switching industries a lot more fun. It kind of became more of a puzzle. All right. We'll push back into the straight. Don't blow the horn. People are trying to sleep. It's nighttime. Can't you see that? Here. Bar. Come on back. Alright, turn slow speed on. Alright, pulling forward. After I take the brakes off. Alright, Sweetheart Cup Company. Alright, so we have 2 at the end. Sweetheart, Sweetheart. Alright. One down, we're down here. Alright. And we're going to stop in just about in this area right here. Same here, Hank. I grew up in an apartment, and we were up on the hill. And I gotta find that video. I think I'm gonna link it into my channel because it was they EMD SD9s? and it was in the time frame of me growing up as a kid. And you'll see there's a station for the town of San Rafael, and that's where I lived. That's where I grew up, was in the town of San Rafael. And I'm like, I grew up there. That's amazing. And where I live was all part. Those tracks were all part of the Northwestern Pacific, and our apartments were up on the hill, and we could look down, and I could watch the train come through, and there was a tunnel right there. And yeah, I used to go play in the tunnel all the time. I was dumb back then. But, watch the trains come through, and they would go all the way down to, and the Northwestern Pacific tracks used to go down just slightly south of San Rafael, and there was a point where there was another set of tunnels, and there was a cave-in on that tunnel, and the rumor is that there's an old Northwestern Pacific steam engine inside that tunnel where they caved. But to my knowledge, they've never excavated it, and I haven't been there in decades, to be honest with you. And I know that they want to use those old Northwestern Pacific rail lines and bring BART up, Bay Area Rapid Transit, bring it up along Highway 101, go all the way up to the city of Santa Rosa, and maybe even beyond. But they talked about in this video, it's great, they talked about the skunk train, which is still there, that runs, it's a steam engine that runs from Willits, California, up and over the mountains over to Mendocino. And it's a nice trip, but they kind of messed it up, because to me it seems like they should have like 2 trains that run, and you can, if you get there early enough, take the first train, go from Willits to Mendocino, then spend the day in Mendocino, and then catch the evening train back over to Willits. People would do that, but instead they decided, no, they're not going to do that. You got to take the train there. You can't stay, and you got to come on back. And then there's even, like during the wintertime, like right now, they only go halfway. So there's a lot of history in that, but that's kind of cool. There's some really neat. No, not to my knowledge. They've got the bus system. They really haven't done anything like that, which is too bad. But here's the thing. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Of course, California's been pushing for high-speed rail going up and down California from the San Francisco Bay Area down to Bakersfield or down into LA. To me, that's a waste of time. That's a waste of resources. Now they're pushing for high-speed rail to go from LA to Las Vegas. That makes sense to me. Why stop at Vegas? Follow the old Route 66, I think it's I-40 now. Follow that all the way over to at least West Memphis, which stops at the Mississippi. And then maybe even carry it on into beyond the Mississippi. But that makes sense to me. I can see that. I mean, I don't know if you've ever driven from LA to Vegas. Nighttime, daytime, it don't matter. It is one of the most boring drives you could do. And if you could go from LA to Vegas and be there in like an hour and a half, which is what they're talking, it's worth it. That one I can get behind. But from San Francisco down to LA, high-speed rail, we already have it. In fact, the way they want to do it, they want to go around the mountains, because right now you can take Amtrak from the Bay Area down to Bakersfield, then you get off the train and they put you on a bus and they drive you up and over the Grapevine. Okay, well, the way they're going to do it for high-speed rail, they're going to go around that mountain. Well, if you're going to do that, why don't you just build the tracks and let Amtrak take you around that mountain? You don't need high-speed rail. My 2 cents worth there. I'm off my soapbox again. Damn, that soapbox is getting worn out tonight. All right, what I got? PPP. That would be Patterson Pacific Paper. Next one up. And we got a couple more cars to switch for MMC. And that would actually finish this train over here, and then we just go around and do our pickups. Alright, so Patterson Pacific is up here. And we gotta pick this car up as we head around to the other side and pick up Strategic Equipment Supply. Patterson Papers right here. They've been wanting to do that though because there's enough. Oh my gosh. Fresno is actually a bedroom community for the San Francisco Bay Area. They have BART comes out to Livermore, but it doesn't come any farther than that. The next logical stop would be Tracy. So they got to come up and over the mountain and come down to Tracy. Well, if they're going to come down to Tracy, then they can pick up and then they can either go. I mean, they could tie into the rail lines. So if somebody wants to commute, they could actually get on the, on Amtrak early in the morning, take it to Stockton or Modesto, wherever they need to, and then pick up BART and go from BART there into the Bay Area. It would still be a few hour commute, but at least you could sit down and have a cup of coffee, take a nap, be somewhat refreshed for when you get to work. Yeah, but high-speed rail, I mean, funny thing is they've got overpasses that are built with just the overpass, there's no entrance onto it or exit off of it. They have an overpass built for the high-speed rail. They've got certain areas, in fact, the town that I'm in was supposed to get the repair facility for high-speed rail. Who knows? Who knows? And really, it was not even a senator or anybody from California that was driving it. It was a senator from Nevada who's no longer a senator now. But it was his company that was going to really reap the benefits of it. We're getting into politics. So I just don't see a need. I can see regular Amtrak service tying into it down in LA. That would make sense to me, because I mean I can go from here to Sacramento in probably about an hour. So to go to LA by Amtrak would probably be about 2-3 hours, and you get into LA, and then you pick up at the same station, pick up high-speed rail and go to Vegas. I can see that. I can honestly see that. It would probably be about a 4-hour trip, but it would be a relaxing 4-hour trip. Go to Vegas, have fun, take the train back. Buy your tickets ahead of time just in case you don't win. Because, but I thought that high-speed rail across this country, and if you pick it up in the southern part of the country, it would make more sense to me. I've done that drive from California to West Memphis and into Tennessee and Mississippi, crossing over, and I've done it in 3 days. Do it high-speed rail, that would make a lot more sense to do that. You can take at least to West Memphis and then just carry it over. And if you've ever done the high-speed rail over in Europe, I've done the one in Great Britain. Take it from London to Paris. Not a bad ride. It'd be something that's what I equate it to. Hold your ears. There you go. Alright, all we have left is one gondola and 2 boxcars for MMC. So a couple moves down there, put the gondolas on the gondola track for the scrap metal. I have a little notice, a little check mark right here to look at micro metal, look at the cars. And there's take a look at like the gondola for metal like this. Would be for scrap metal. Do we have a metal recycling place that takes, you know, that loaded cars and turns them into empties? So it would be that car flow piece that I was talking about earlier on. Alright, let's go run down. I'll ride the car this time. That'll be the last 3 cars. I'll come up light, grab this one for the pillow factory. Go down there and we will pull out the cars that we have at the pillow factory, set them on the line here, and then we'll go ahead and set that car out. Pick up the ones for the pillow factory, head back into the yard, tie the pickups into the outbound cars that are being staged in the yard. And that'll be our work for the night, and we'll be done. So what I came up with, where's my workbook? Here it is. So Davis Hump Yard, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 locals in Sparks, 4 in Davis. And here's my tags. So this is my potential, what I'm working on as far as how I'm going to be setting up the hump controller. And the idea behind the hump controller is to, I want to get back, I didn't set this switch back, shame on me. There we go, let me run down. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to go straight first because the first one's a gondola. Go ahead and run. Get on there. A little bit fast, not too much faster, just about 5 miles an hour in there. It's nighttime, these guys can wait. This sure looks like MMC, but I think that's just the way Run 8 handles it, that when you drop down for a Sweetheart, it will come down to all the way down to the switch. But it looks like to me there should be a gap like right in here, so I'll have to review that. Got to review that too. Start setting up some intermodal stuff. Slow it down. Under 3 miles per hour, good. All right. Oops. Nope. There we go. That's right. And these two should go here just fine. I might have to push that one back a little bit. I think that, you know what, I'm looking at the rust on this now, and maybe it's just with the flashlight, but I'm thinking that they should have gone maybe a little bit darker red. I think rust is more brownish red. This looks like somebody just threw a bunch of red paint over it in this light. Just me being picky. Trust me, I do like it though. It's much better. I mean, it adds more realism. So, and that'll be it after the holidays. I'll wait for people to see if if I'm going to get like money cards, anything like that, and then I will get the new 5-car pack that came out, and the new just for completionists to get the new secondary spur for the Pittsburgh line. No, I'm picking that up. Okay, fine. Do it this way then. Set the handbrake there. Put the handbrake there. Release that one. Alright, so we have 7 cars to pick up and 1 to set out. And 1 to set out sitting up here in the spur. Alright. Set normal. Oh, I'm inside the building. That's set to normal. Let's go run back up here. come off of slow speed. This guy can move a little bit faster now. Pick that car up. That's a pillow factory. I don't understand that. I want to look at something here. I may take that one back with me. We'll take a look and see. Because the pillow factory had pellet cars, bringing in plastic pellets. Okay, I get that. That makes sense to me. You know, using plastic pellets and doing whatever they need to do to make pillows. But I don't know what they would take those. Stop. Okay. Let's grab this one. Then we'll look at the pillow factory here real quick. Yeah, no, I have no problem with that, Hank. It's actually pretty easy. So what you would have to do, first of all, I would recommend, like I said, if it's not on this one, I'll add it. But I would recommend Discord. And we can get into my Discord or your Discord, whatever you choose, and from there we would actually share the password, because I would definitely, if you're going to do it, I would highly recommend putting up a password on your server, because you're going to be letting me or you don't want a whole bunch of other people to join in unless you actually absolutely trust them on your computer. And I got an old computer sitting at home, sitting in storage. I'm thinking about bringing that one out just for that purpose, and set up running in just server mode only. Have it fire up and then just leave it running. You don't even need to, have a monitor on it. Just have remotely access it. Okay, we want to go forward. I would actually expect you to teach me all about Norfolk Southern then, if we do that. Because I mean, I would just have fun, like you said, a Rose Yard, that Rose Yard, and then you got the repair facilities, and that'd be a lot of fun. And yes, I would have to stream it. Pass. I'll set this back to normal. Alright. Back here. I'll ride that around. And then while we're doing that, taking that on the slow road. No, I don't want that. I want that. Is a T for the pillow factory. Here we go. Plastic pillow hoppers and tank cars. Empties on each. Interesting. I'm thinking, guys. I don't know about that one. that would be an instance where I'd have to, do Google Earth and look down on it and go take a look and see if it won. Well, I'd probably find out it's no longer there, but is it really just one spur? Um, hmm. Or I don't know. I have to take a look at it. And actually, I was playing. The thing about those, I was actually playing around with server only mode and letting this go and just see, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I was going to let the time tick forward just by letting the server run, but then I realized every time I jump on, if I just click the use local time, it automatically moves the cars forward. So all those cars that I set out over the last couple of days, some of those are ready for pickups on when I come around with another set of come in with more locals. Which I'm looking at the map for the local yard here in Sparks, and I would actually in the future come down tracks 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, and 17, set those out as the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6 locals. Those are 6 tracks. So starting with the longest local on track 10 to the smallest local on track 17, set the locals out, and then I've got track 521 and 158 could be the actual staging area for the locomotives for those particular locals. And I could actually just use one set of locomotives. And this one actually now I'm looking at it, thinking about it. Well, I've only got one locomotive, but like for this local, it would have been interesting to see what my horsepower per ton is. I bet you I could have gotten away with, instead of having 2 locomotives, just one. And the thing about it is, I would have to figure out if there is, and there's not. I'm looking here, I don't see one. Looking to see if there's there is a Y. There is a Y. Okay. Excuse me. East of the yard, heading out to where there's another local area, there's a Y. So if I need to turn an engine, I could turn an engine there. Pillow factories up here coming up. That's Sparky's Donuts. SES. Here's SES. I gotta grab those. Alright. Alright, grab those and pull those out. Both of these got picked up. And it's interesting. Same thing. SES. Strategic Equipment Supply. Why are they getting... Strategic Equipment Supply? tank car. So this shouldn't even have it. This shouldn't even have a hopper car in there. Got a covered hopper. Tank car, but I would actually have to take a look and see what actually comes in there. Equipment supplies seems like it would be box cars. So that might be a change there. Alright, grab these and pull them out. I'm going to go up to Pillow Factory and pull those out. That's the Pillow Factory right there. Pull those out, set them back on this line, put the one tank car that I have in there, which that doesn't make sense to me either. Get down to at least 3 miles an hour. There we go. Okay. But they got tagged right, and I'm happy with that. Back. I decided to go down the siding. Well, I can. Maybe I shouldn't have, now that I think about it. But, what the heck? Let's have some fun. Have some real fun, make these people mad and block the crossing there. So if I'm going to do that, do a stop. That's a little, I could probably budget a little bit if I bring it back here, but I want to make sure that it's stopped and not in the foul. Alright, I'll release that one, or set that one up. We'll set this one up. Okay. I have a method to my madness here, guys. Bear with me. So the few that I have in there will probably fit in the siding, but if this whole siding was filled, yeah, no, it wouldn't fit. But for future reference, I would know exactly how many cars, or roughly how many cars it would be able to fit. Get past this switch here. Got nothing in there, so we're good. Okay. Excuse me, I have to wake up the night watchman. His office is right in the corner of that building. He was asleep. He's mad at us now. That's okay. Be mad, dude. Go make your rounds. Dang! It's a busy road. Alright, come on back. Oh, actually, leave that one. Okay, we're good. Okay, come on back. There we go. Got to do that. So I think all you really need to do, Hank, is if you're going to do that, is you can go, well, there's a switch at the bottom right-hand corner that says server only. Don't do that. But you just go ahead and set up, if you go into F2, brings up your client, host and client. So, and you can go ahead and do your, set up your password and everything there, name it, all that kind of good stuff. All right. Slow down, come off the brakes. It's just a touch. All right, come off of these. Yep, I'm glad I did that. Let's go ahead and connect these. Even though I'm not going to air them up, I'm going to connect them. Release, release. Released. And one more. Connect. Connect and release. There we go. Alright. And it's open. That one's fine. Okay. We're going to pull back, and then we're going to push down into the siding. Push down past past this point into these cars down here. So, all right, let's go forward. Whoa! Look both ways before you cross the street. If and when they release a NOLA yard, I'm going to be like a little kid on Christmas. I will take vacation days to play and play and play. You know what, Hank? I'm right there with you. I mean, that's why when they release this, why I keep coming back to it, because this is where I grew up. I mean, as a little kid, My godfather was a conductor. He worked for Southern Pacific, but he was contracted to Amtrak. So he was a conductor on Amtrak. I got to go from the Bay Area to Sacramento in the cab of a locomotive. Yeah, I probably broke a huge rule right there, but nobody's mentioned, nobody said anything. If nobody says anything, nobody knows. But when we got to Sacramento, the crew changed. So I had to go back into the cars with my mom and my godmother. So, and back then, I'm not even sure that the locomotives were painted for Amtrak. I think they were Southern Pacific. I couldn't tell you. I don't remember. I don't care, because I was like, I just taking it all in. It was such a cool thing to be in the locomotive. And then the rest of the trip from Sacramento to Reno was just, hey, it was fun. I was sitting there and just enjoying it. And my godfather, he, police are there. Look, you heard me say that. They're here to arrest me. It's so funny when you see a sex landing and you see the CHP coming. Once again, it's Governor Newsom. He's overreaching. What am I doing? Wrong one. Oh, no, it's not. That's the right one. Yeah, that's the right one. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, it's like this came out. I'm like, oh my gosh. I can go over the mountains. I've done this trip. I've been here. I mean, and I just did it again the other day. Like I said, back in the last July, I took a train trip to go see my daughter who lives in Sparks. So, and she picked me up in Reno. But it was just riding, well, I was drinking soda pop back then, well, when I was a little kid, but July, I wasn't drinking soda pop, but I was sitting there looking out the window, just remembering what a phenomenal trip that was. It just, yeah, it was really, really cool, really, really nice. Although, because back then when I took it, the cars weren't as tall as they are now. So a lot of the tunnels that we went through were the same tunnels that were hand carved by the Chinese, as the Central Pacific was carving their way from, Sacramento up and over the mountains and to meet up with the Union Pacific in Utah, I believe it was Promontory, Utah, I believe is what, if I got my facts right. But now, because of intermodal and the height of some of the cars that we have now and how high they're stacking the containers on those intermodals, it was cheaper, instead of carve the tunnels out, it was cheaper to just go around the mountains. And with today's technology, they found ways to go around the mountains, which they couldn't do it back then. But the stuff that they pulled off back then with the technology they had was still very amazing. So if there's any one thing that I kind of miss, was going through all those tunnels. But there's still quite a few. Still quite a few, and this map is very, very accurate. And although he doesn't stream so much anymore, NSD Horsehead SD70, he works that area that you're working right now, Hank. And he said that Run 8, the way the trains operate, it's spot on. Alright, we're going to leave these here. We'll come back and get them. I need to grab... Let's set a couple of handbrakes. There we go. Ones at the end are set. Oops, what am I doing? Alright, we're going to pull forward and push this car back into here. I don't know. I'm still not convinced that this should be coming in here to the pillow factory, but that's research. And who says it has to stay the pillow factory? You know, maybe I might make this the Plastic Pellet Corporation. I don't know. I would actually think instead I would actually turn around and make that, if I'm going to make that the pillow factory, I don't know, maybe boxcars. For shipping out, for, you know, ask for empty boxcars and ship out loaded ones. Do something. I mean, that's, you know, that's the thing about Run 8, and I keep repeating it because I'm always getting new subscribers, is that it's, Run 8 is extremely configurable. Especially if you're trying to set out here on the Northern California map, it's very easy to go. You just set your trains to go one way or the other and tag them with a destination that's going to be off map. Very easy. Other like the CSX Southeast. I think I got that one. I think I got that one figured out, but I got to come up with some new tags. And there is a list. I mean, I found a list online, but it's all the current tags. Okay. Oh boy, it's busy, man. That's the second cop car. All right, let's push back. I might just do that. I might keep this as the pillow factory, but it's going to ask for boxcars. That just makes more sense. But then, well, you know, pellet cars that bring in little pellets. I can understand that because maybe they're using that to make pillows. But then, how are they shipping? Are they shipping by truck only? Oh, I'm on the wrong side of the car. And see, like right now, I'm putting a tanker car in here. I don't see anything that might indicate to me a way for the car to be unloaded. But I see doors. I see trucks. Maybe trucks are coming in with stuff. Local delivery, local shipping. And that's the thing that's configurable. I mean, it's just I don't like the idea I'm bringing a tanker car in here. So the same thing with the strategic equipment supply. That seems like it would be boxcars as well too, not tankers and hoppers. But we'll do it. All right, bump it back a little bit. And we'll pull forward. Grab these cars, and we're done. That's it. That's our last. I think yeah, we got no set outs, no pickups on our switch list. I still think, going back to your comment, Hank, about the Enola yard, if they ever come out with like the Chicago area, and we're talking, you think about the interchange in Chicago, or in and around Chicago, BNSF, Union Pacific, um, Canadian, was it Canadian Pacific Kansas City, I think is what it is, the new one. CSX, Norfolk Southern, all of them interchange right there. That would be huge. And especially if they would do it in such a way that it would almost be like a massive server, where you can set it up as a massive server for. I'm sending a train to the Chicago yard, and then it actually goes to that map, and then it eventually comes into that yard. That would be really cool. But I don't know. West. I would go west. Especially like for Southern California, both, well, the maps we have now, Union Pacific and Burlington, Northern Santa Fe. But what if, and this is how my mind works, what if I have a train here, Union Pacific, I've got it, and it needs to go to Rose Yard. So I'm going to set my train up, and I'm going to go, and maybe give it, somehow give it a code or whatever, other than the tag for the locomotive. And it has to go through the Chicago interchange. So I'm going to send it. I would give you a code. This is the train. So you go bring it up and put the code in. Here comes the train that I sent. You pick it up and then send it to the Rose Yard. And then you go into your Rose Yard map, and then pretty soon here comes that same train coming into Rose Yard. I think it could be done. I mean, it's beyond me on how to program that, but I think it could be done. And I think it would be so cool to be able to do that. Have friends go, hey, you know what? I know you like this map. I like that map. What if we go through the interchange? I'll send you a train, and then you can do what you need to do, and you send me a train back. Yeah, I got your train. Okay, did I switch it? Yes, I did. Okay, we're normal here. Okay, we're going. Oh, I just gotta go back. I'm like, wait, am I missing a card? No, I dropped it off. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's something that, I mean, it would honestly, it would require Run 8 Studios to have a server or something and set up an interchange server. I don't know, or you do like like Mateo server or High Green or whatever. Something like that. Somebody out there runs a server, and you can have a whole bunch of little servers all over the place. Hey, I'm running the Chicago server. So you sign in North Platte to West Colton. Here's my incoming train. It's an intermodal, so I'm going to have a train going through here pretty soon. That's one that I created. But anyway, it'd still be like, it would be a server. I mean, well, actually, if you think about it, you only need one machine, because both the High Green server and the Mateo server are being run off the same machine. So what if I'm running this map and then the Chicago map off of this machine that I'm on right now? And And since everything runs in real time, it'd be like, okay, I'm going to send it. It leaves this map. It goes to our server, loads up. And then I can go there in 3 days and pick it up and bring it into, say, the Union Pacific, Union Pacific yard. And then I would take it over and drag that train over to Norfolk Southern yard and leave it. Okay, and if you've got some cars there waiting, I would grab those cars and bring that train back. Now you got a string of cars that are that are for industries on, on that map, on the Pittsburgh map. So now you're going to bring that car over to the Norfolk Southern interchange yard or whatever, and then send it. And then however many days it takes to go from Chicago to there, whether it's 1 or 2. Pretty soon you'd sign into your Pittsburgh, you have a notification. There's a train ready to come in. Do you want it to spawn? Yes. Boom, it spawns, and now you got that train heading on your map into the Rose Yard. Could be cool. Meanwhile, there's a whole bunch of guys that are part of the Run 8 crew going, shut up. Alright, I'm out of here. We're going to head back and we're going to send this back into the yard. So I'm going to ride the front instead of riding in the cab. Oh, actually I don't want to. Not yet. Hang on. Let me get back on the ground here. I'm going to set my switches back to normal. Like, why is it not moving? I forgot. I had everything on. I had handbrakes on. But that could be pretty cool. Yeah, what that's born out of, I'll be honest with you, is born out of a bunch of us that used to play together on Farming Simulator. And we always had that discussion of how cool it would be to have Farming Simulator, grow your crops, put them on a train, have that train leave your farm, and then end up with those cars full of grain, end up in a rail simulator like Run 8. You gotta take it over to, Long Beach Yard or wherever that car is going to go, and it ends up at an industry where it makes bread, and that bread's got to ship out and go overseas. Kind of neat if all that was like tied together, but it would require a lot of people to be able to, hey, you know what? I love trains. I'll run the train. But too many companies. Everybody want to do everything their way. No proper interface. So, but if Run 8 could do, come up with the Chicago interchange area. Alright, now we can go run and catch up to the front of this thing. Alright. Full speed off. It's interesting, that one road that has like no crossing guard signals or anything is busy, but that 4-lane road, nothing. Alright, come out, go here, and I can head right on up. I just need to push these cars back into one of those two strings that I have waiting to go out. I have one more. I got like about 4 or 5 cars left to do that were part of this local. I need to go figure out what those are. I'll run those tomorrow or the next day or whenever I get a chance. Leave that one straight, but I gotta go flip this one up here. Slow speed on, at about 7 miles an hour. Now, really, I got a couple of cars here for OG. That's Ogden, Utah, east. West Colton, south. But North Platte is east. So really, I would actually switch, if I was going to do it, I would switch these cars and put them, okay, these are eastbound cars. And then anything coming from the Davis yard would stop here, pick up the eastbound cars, and then go. I'm not running my railroad that way. I am going to set the trains up, sort them in the Davis yard, and then let them head out from there. And if they're going to go off the map, they can go off the map whichever way they need to go. Okay, this is another one that needs to be switched. That's confusing right now. Don't need them. All right, back to the front. Good, good. Going on up. Okay. Let's get moving a little bit faster here. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9. Here we go. 10 miles an hour. Perfect. Track speed. I think it's actually 15 in the yard here, but I like doing 10. Just because it makes it easier on me. And it's all about me. Alright, so I actually have, those are outbounds. I got two long strings over here that are outbound. So I can tie in. I got 3 different tracks that are being used. I'll let the road train like pick those up, and then once they're all connected and ready to go, put the EOT on the end of it. Make sure it's tagged correctly. And typically from here to this would go from here to the Davis yard. At the Davis yard, it would get in, get sorted. Anything going west would go to West Colton. That's the next big. That's the next big hump yard down in the Southern California map. And that's what I was talking about. It'd be kind of nice to send that train to West Colton, all right, and to tag cars with industries that would be worked out of the West Colton area, or tagged for other areas like down in the LA or whatever. It'd be kind of interesting to do that and be able to transfer that train from the Davis yard. Once it leaves the map, boom, it's now going to show up in the Southern California map. Ooh, how could I do that? I'm thinking. I think I might. Okay, that should have actually been switched back, but that's okay. That works. So MI would be Martinez, California. So I would go west. That's what's really missing in Run 8 is that connection between Southern California and here in Northern California, because we have at least two other subdivisions. We got the Mariposa subdivision and then the Stockton subdivision. You're gonna make me fall through? Yeah, you are. Okay. We're going to go straight here. And good. Okay, we should be good through here. I didn't set that back, no wonder. I think it was pink. There's some pink in here somewhere. No, maybe not. Don't you stop yet. Keep coming. There we go. Hey. Why can't I ride you? There we go. Did I forget that? I did. I forgot to flip the switch. Gotta go get my daughter. Have a good night. Looking forward to your Christmas break streams. Oh, no worries, Hank. You take care of your daughter. I will catch up with you later. I'll make sure that the descriptions have everything in, like for my Discord. If you're not a part of my Discord, go ahead and join it. I will give you permission to get into the Run 8 channel, because I got a Run 8 channel, Lotro channel, some other channels as well too. But we'll make sure that you get you into Run 8, and we'll talk about trying to join that, get that server set up. So have a good one. I will catch you later. I'm almost done here too. Like I said, I just got to go ahead and push this into staging yard. I think I know which one I'm going to go into. Now we're almost done here. Come on, Pool. Come on, come on, come on. All right. Now I can push back. Just in time too. It's just about time for me to call it a night. Another early day tomorrow. push into these cars right here. So I need to get off here. All right, we're going to go ahead and push back into these cars. I am going downhill, so I'm going to be accelerating, put some brakes on, do some independent brakes. I'm just using the independent brakes on the locomotive. Still accelerating. I need to slow it down. I like to make my couples at just about 3 miles an hour. And yes, I have run into, if you couple too hard, you will break couplers later on down the line. Although I notice that AI trains never break a coupler. I think that's not right. One of the things that you can do in that run 8, that external run 8 assistant, or external assistant for run 8 is actually what it's called, is if you ever get a train that you're not in control of, and I've had this happen, a train that you're not in control of, get a stress coupler situation and you don't know how to find it because it gives you a tile number, that is something else that is in that assistant, that you can actually go and... What the heck was that? Oh, shove back. There we go. LRV 64, that one, that's actually, I don't know how those cars ended up here, but that's actually a local out of Roseville. So that's why those cars are going to get sorted out, and then I'll eventually make it to a industry, and whatever industry that is in Willville. I think that's the one down the Sunset line. I think that's what it's called. Alright, we're going to bring this one to a stop. We're going to tie them all down. I like that. You got the squeal of the brakes. Alright. Shift F5 does it automatically, so all the cars have the handbrakes on, so do the locomotives. Kill the engines. Turn off the lights. Lights are off. Everything's off. We're all locked down, tied up. And last thing we're going to do, relinquish. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We are done for the night. I want to thanks for everybody for hanging out with me. So we're going to go right on in here and get my closing scene. Have a good night, everybody.